What if your college GPA from years ago doesn't matter as much as you think? Imagine turning a 2.7 undergraduate GPA into an offer from a top law school along with a $150,000 scholarship. That's exactly what Rachel, a 41-year-old marketing executive, achieved, and the key to her success was crushing the LSAT while juggling her demanding career and family. So if you've been told your GPA or your age is a deal breaker, stick around. Today I'll show you how to master the LSAT strategically, overcome these barriers, and make your law school dream a reality. First, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, over the years, I've helped countless non-traditional law school applicants, people like you with jobs, families, and life experience, navigate the admissions process. And today, we're zeroing in on the LSAT. Whether you're starting from scratch or looking to level up your score, I'll break down a step-by-step approach designed for working professionals. This is not about working harder, it's about working smarter. Now let's get real about the LSAT. Most people think they need to dedicate 20 to 30 hours a week to prep to have any chance of succeeding. If you're working full-time or managing family commitments, that probably feels impossible. Here are the 3 most common challenges my students face. First is limited time. You're busy. Between work, family, and life, finding hours to study feels like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Second, you might be overwhelmed by study materials. There are so many textbooks, videos, and courses out there, it's hard to know what's actually useful. The third is misguided study habits. Most people rely on outdated methods like rereading notes or cramming, which just does not work for the LSAT. And so if you're nodding along to these, don't worry. These obstacles are common, but they're also solvable. Now, let me share a quick truth about law school admissions. Your LSAT score is your best opportunity to offset a low GPA. Law schools use a formula called the LSAT GPA index, and while your GPA is locked in, the LSAT is completely within your control, and virtually every law school weighs LSAT scores more heavily than undergraduate GPAs. And so a high LSAT score won't just help you get in, it can also lead to significant scholarships. For example, Rachel, the marketing executive I mentioned earlier, had a GPA that would have been a non-starter for a lot of law schools, but after scoring in the 170 on the LSAT, she totally flipped the script. Her GPA became just one small part of her application, and her LSAT score made her a standout candidate. Now let's talk about what you can do to tackle the LSAT in 3 phases: learn, practice, and master. Phase 1 is to learn the test. Understand the material. The LSAT measures skills, not just knowledge. The LSAT is split into 2 main types of sections: logical reasoning and reading comprehension. Logical reasoning tests your ability to analyze arguments and identify flaws. In reading comprehension, you'll read dense passages and answer questions about structure, tone, and meaning. And you might want to start off with a diagnostic test, because even if you feel unprepared, it's important to know where you're starting, and that test can serve as a benchmark for your future progress. After you take that test, you're going to want to learn to identify common question types and patterns, and you want to use official LSAT practice materials from LSAC. These are previously administered actual LSAT exams, so they're your most accurate prep tool. In phase 2, you want to practice smart. Once you know the basics, you dive into practice, but it's got to be smart practice, not endless practice. You want to track your progress, keep a log of the questions you get wrong and why. Focus on the reasoning behind the correct answer, not just the fact that it's correct. You also want to drill specific skills, because if you're struggling with certain types of questions like necessary assumption or inference, those are your biggest area for potential improvement. You also want to embrace timed practice, because it's not enough to get the questions right. You've got to get them right under test day conditions. And so you want to start introducing time limits to mimic real test conditions sooner rather than later to help you build speed and endurance. Now, the final phase is all about endurance and precision by taking full-length practice tests consistently, at least 1, maybe 2 a week, but they've got to be simulated. They're strictly timed, and you're eliminating all distractions. You also want to review these tests to identify your mistakes and patterns of reasoning you need to work on and target your weak spots going forward. You also want to refine your timing and practice hitting specific time targets, like aiming to complete the first 10 questions in logical reasoning in roughly 10 to 12 minutes. And if you'd like my help, putting together a personalized study plan tailored to your schedule and learning style to help you adopt this learning, practice, and mastery framework, my team and I would be glad to help you out. At LSAT Unplugged, we create personalized study plans for all of our students, and we pair it with private one-on-one coaching on a consistent basis, ideally every week or so, to help you stay accountable and motivated and make sure that you make that forward progress to achieving a top LSAT score. If you'd like my help, you could check out the links below to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out, and we can help you make LSAT prep fit into your life, for example, with micro study sessions, because even just 30 to 45 minutes a day can make a big difference if you're consistent. We can also help you leverage dead time during your commute or lunch break to walk through logical reasoning questions, for example, and we can help you set small, measurable goals. Instead of saying, I'll try to study 2 hours tonight, instead we'll help you aim to complete a specific number of questions or master one single concept. Now, let me share 2 quick success stories to show you what's possible. I mentioned Rachel earlier, 41-year-old marketing executive with a 2.7 GPA. She focused on LSAT prep that fit her schedule. Her final score of a 172 not only got her into a T14 law school, but also earned her $150,000 in scholarship money. We also worked with Mark, a 45-year-old engineer who started off with an LSAT score in the 150s. But after refining his logical reasoning strategy, he jumped up to a 167 and got multiple offers with significant scholarship money. And these are not exceptions. They are examples of what happens when you approach the LSAT with a clear plan and focused effort. So here's what I want you to do right now. Take a practice test this week. Even if you're rusty, it gives you a baseline to work from. I want you to create a study log where you track every mistake you make and what you'll do differently next time. And finally, I want you to block out time for consistent study. Even just 30 minutes a day adds up over time. And if you're serious about mastering the LSAT and taking control of your law school future, you can work with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out because you don't have to navigate this journey alone. With the right strategy and support, a great LSAT score is absolutely within your reach. Your GPA does not define you. Your LSAT score, your story, and your commitment to this goal are what matter. And so if you found this helpful, again, feel free to reach out. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.